So the GRASSMERE Historic Farm. The story begins here. I know a little bit about the story. There's some pretty flyers. You can see the farmhouse in the background. I know that all this land was donated by the family that lived here for the zoo. That's kind of about all I really know. We're gonna go take a tour. Hopefully, anyways. So here's a little bit of the history about the farm. So the house was built in 1810. And in 1876, the kitchen, the smokehouse, and the porches were added. It looks like 1997 is when the zoo opened here at GRASSMERE. It's the 1810 house. Honestly, it looks like a haunted mansion. But I guess if I was over 100 years old, 200 years old, I'd probably look pretty ragged as well. So they do have tours, like I mentioned, of the house. It's like about every hour or so. And there is the house rules for the fully guided tour. Sitting here on the front porch, waiting for the tour.
Nobody rocks. That's a Cracker Barrel one. It's got Cracker Barrel on it.
Evidently we're in a Cracker Barrel rocking chair.
So this house was built in 1810, so it is 214 years old this year. 5 generations of the same family lived here from 1810 all the way until 1985. The last 2 people who lived here were sisters, Margaret and Elise Croft, and they are the 2 who ended up donating all of this land, which is about 200 acres. They donated it specifically for animal education. So they're the reason that we have a zoo here today.
Thank you, ladies.
Exactly. Very great. I could actually open up the parlor rooms here if y'all would like to walk.
That's what it was. That is neat.
Specifically how Michael Dunn got the money to purchase this property. But we know that Margaret and Elise's dad was a businessman, who actually moved them all down to Havana, Cuba in 1902. And he opened up a concrete business.
This is the original owners
Chimneys, which is where they earned
who built the home. Michael Dunn
Yeah, the electricity was out
and
in
Elizabeth
the
Dunn.
1950s, and it was all put in through the floors because all of the walls, apart from this one, this was an addition, but every other wall in the house, inside and outside, is made of brick. So it would have been incredibly difficult to put electricity.
Yeah.
And this is the grandmother of the 2 sisters that lived here last. And that is her grandmother. There's
there
a
for
tea
about 30
set.
years. The sisters moved back here after that. 2 years old. They still live, which is pretty incredible.
Tall doorways.
Yeah.
That's what I said, they don't do, that comes from money.
Okay.
Because that's twice a month, but I want a little space.
What did they do for money? How did they make it?
I don't know, they
So
said,
the concrete business is where where the fourth and fifth generations made all their money.
Okay.
But this used to be about 300 acres of farmland
Yeah,
as well.
okay.
So they made plenty of money from
when you could.
that. Since this house was built in 1810, it was built about 50 years prior to the Civil War. So we had a historic architect come through about a year ago, and we asked him that question. And he said that the house was originally built in federal style, which is like big and box.
There's an old copy of Gone with the Wind. Let's go upstairs.
So this is technically a 3-story house. The third story is an attic space. It is an open floor plan up there, so you could have it as one giant floor space. There is a door in the middle if you'd like to close that and create 2 separate rooms.
Wow.
Yeah, there's one in the back.
And then we've got 4 bedrooms up here. The ones closest to me were where the sisters slept. So on my left here was Margaret's bedroom. She was actually a seamstress, so she did make each of she's got the oldest furniture set in the house. It's from the 1850s. So it's 170 years old. It's hand carved and hand painted. And then the other 2 bedrooms, like the kids' bedroom, the nursery, all the books in there, the paper dolls, the other toys were all owned by the sisters. They had them as kids in the late 1800s. And then the room on the far right, back there where you are, is the guest bedroom. That is where their aunt and uncle actually stayed while the family was living here. And their aunt and uncle's photos are on the radio there.
Good size for a bedroom.
Yes.
It's like 3 times today, but I see it here.
And then we don't go out this way, but I do like to show off the windows. So in the 1870s, when they put in the pocket doors downstairs, they also converted, I think, the majority of their windows into doors.
Wow.
So the windows ended up dropping all the way to the floor. They used to be about yay high off the ground. So they dropped them all the way down and they put them all on a weighted pulley system so you would lift it up and it stays in place. And it was really great for airflow. And you would just duck down and walk right outside.
1870s air conditioning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll put the
Yes.
system.
Yeah.
All the way until the 1950s. Yeah.
There's your shower.
And then in the 1950s, they actually did put an indoor bathroom in the middle of this room we're in. It is clearly not here now.
Oh, yeah.
But you can actually see those floorboards over by the
Yeah.
window are a different color. Those are the only non-original floorboards in the house.
It's a picture of Elise. And going out on the patio.
The original kitchen was actually to the front side of the house over here.
Is it over there?
Yeah, it was over here.
When they had it,
Yes, and then they rebuilt a new kitchen in 1876. Does anyone know why the kitchen is built outside of the house?
Keep the house from burning down.
Exactly. It keeps your house from burning down, so it's considered a big fire hazard. And then it gets really hot here in Tennessee summers, so you don't want an extra heat source inside the house.
Oh, yeah.
Smokehouse is where you'd smoke all of your meats. And then the cabin behind that is called the Morton cabin. That was actually originally made from multiple different enslaved cabins on the property here. And it was moved by the owner of the house back here in 1876 as well. So they did a whole wide scale renovation. And then in 1919, Frank Morton, his wife, and their 2 kids actually moved into that cabin. And they were black tenant farmers who lived and worked on this property for about 60 years. So they were instrumental to the running of the entire house and farm. And then off to our right over here is the barn. We do have farm animals through there. You're welcome to walk around that area.
We'll walk through this barn here. Nice barn. Go out this way. So be advised, honeybees are hard at work. If you see a bee, leave it alone. There's some goats.
Be advised.
Some cows back there.
I get it.
I call them Oreo cows. There's a mini donkey. 2 of them, and a goat. The goat's actually in the feeding trough, standing in it. There's another mini donkey. A mini pony. Now, that's a mini pony. Right there.
They don't have a sign that says, I think those are like diesel.
I don't know. I guess those are longhorns. I don't know. No, I don't really know cattle. Got another one right there. He's trying to eat right up against the fence. He's getting that green grass on this side of the fence. It ain't been cut yet. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Psst. Hey, buddy. You got an itch? A pretty good scratcher, ain't it? You gonna talk to me? All right. I'll let you be. There's some honeybees back there. That's where they are. And that's the back of the farmhouse with the kitchen and the smokehouse. So this is the kitchen. Here's the smokehouse. That's a big smokehouse.
It's one nice smokehouse, I'll say that.
Now, these was slave quarters. Now this is actually built out of a couple of different slave cabins. And this was known as the Morton House. The Mortons lived here for roughly around 60 years, worked the farm. It's the inside. That's Frank Morton on the left.
What is this?
Cook, eat, and sleep in the same room.
It just tells a little bit more about the house.
This is the only room they have.
And I believe that's his grandson or great-grandson to the right. And this wood stove here is original to the home that was used by Mr. Frank Morton. So behind the house, there's 20 unknown individual graves that worked here on this property. I suppose they're probably slaves that's inside of here. And on up past the unknown graves is the family cemetery. So just kind of give you an idea. Right there's the unknown graves. That's the back of the Morton House, back of the farmhouse, the family cemetery. And that is a big tree. And this tall monument is the grave of Michael Dunn, the one that built the farmhouse. They have kind of a map laid out of the family cemetery, but they only have 3 graves that are marked. You can see number 4, Michael Dunn, and then 16 and 17, Elise and Margaret Croft. And we're going to look at them. And it's hard to read, but that is the headstone of Margaret, and right beside her, over there behind those weeds, is Elise. And right there is Michael Dunn. Yeah, that's Margaret, and then Elise is right beside her. Now, the lady that gave us the tour, she originally said that this, back in the day when Michael Dunn bought the land and built the house, that this was around 300 acres. And it was all, you know, farmland. But now, I don't believe it's 300 acres, even with the zoo. I think it's around 100 something, maybe close to 200. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look it up. Some buttercups. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this video about the Dunn family here at GRASSMERE, who started this farm here and eventually become the Nashville Zoo when they donated the land. I hope you enjoy the video, learn a little bit of history, and I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, whether it be good or bad. Give it a big thumbs up, big old like. And folks, until next time, I'll see you real soon. Thank you, and good night.